I got accused of stealing from the church. Whoa. My wife and I decided to go on a vacation, and we were just going to be gone a week, and then we'd come back. So I gave my books to my associate pastor to take care of them and take up the offering and put it in the bank while I was gone. So while I was gone, he decided he'd go take a look and see what all I've been drawing out the church. Well, generally, I had a bird box in the back that if anybody wanted to give us a love offering, they could put it in that bird box. It would be however they wanted to pay that, cash or check or whatever. But just make it to me personally. I never drew a check out of the church. I never drew a dime for salary. I pastored over 15 years, and about 12 years, this incident is taking place. So when I got back, I found out that there are a number of people who wanted to kick me out of the church. The reason? My associate decided what he was going to do is show everybody else in the church that I was stealing. I said, wait a minute, brother, what are you talking about? He said, well, you drew out $2,000 here. And I said, and what's wrong with that? He said, you're stealing from the church. Everybody knows it. And well, they did. So I said, okay, hold on a second. We're going to have a meeting. So I called the man from the church who was a fairly wealthy man, and he had sold a plane. And he decided what he wanted to do was make a tithe out of the sale and give a part of it to the church. So he designated to 3 missionaries and me $2,000 apiece. And I took the designated funds and distributed them accordingly. But I had never drawn a check. In fact, the congregation were real excited about me because my pastor lives by faith. Listen, if some of you guys out there literally think pastor's in this for the money, I'm going to tell you, there's just a whole bunch of y'all that are wrong, because you couldn't even pay your light bill with what I make in the ministry. I'm just telling you. So anyway, my point is, we had that meeting, and I did not say a word. I let him talk, the man who gave the money. And he said, yeah, I did. I sold my plane and took the tithe and gave it to the church and had it designated to these 4 areas. And he said, and that's what it was. Nobody else could say a word. All I did was just keep my mouth shut. I didn't try to defend myself. I just let him talk and let them talk. And if they wanted to kick me out of the church, fine. If not, that's fine too. So anyway, after he got through saying it, they all just held in shame and walked out. You know, I didn't have to kick them out of the church, bringing a railing accusation against the pastor. Not one of them. They all left because they were ashamed to look at me after that, because they knew they had accused me falsely, and not a small thing either. In fact, I'm so honest about money. If I see a penny on the ground, I'll pick it up and see if it belongs to anybody. I'm serious. So anyway, I've learned some lessons. Don't do the books. You appoint that to somebody else. And also, you make sure it's all accounted for when you get back, because you don't want somebody else stealing from the church, right? Anyway, I learned several things out of that. And some of y'all going to tell me all the things that I should have done. Well, I just trying to help people because nobody wanted to do it. So it had to be done. And we didn't have enough money to hire anybody. And so I did it. I mowed the yard. I kept the nursery. I cleaned the church. I did the preaching and held the little meetings where we had food and stuff like that. Did everything because I couldn't get anybody to volunteer. Now, we had a good group of people, other than they just were not in the volunteering mood. All right. Having said that, here was my main thing. I never said a word in my defense. And they all were ashamed, every one of them. The one that told the lie and those that believed the lie. And they left and went somewhere else. So anyway, if you're a pastor out there and you've been accused of something, just make sure you're innocent. And then, like Jesus, he didn't say a word in his defense. They took him and crucified him anyway. So it's one thing if you are hung out to dry because you did something wrong, but it's another thing if you're hung out to dry like Jesus and hung on a cross and you didn't do anything wrong. Great is your reward. So great was my reward. I got rid of those guys, and I didn't have to tell one of them to leave. So God bless you guys, and go in peace. Maybe it'll be a lesson learned for some of you. Bye.